Money and the presence of food affects my diet. Before I started attending college, I had to have at least 3 meals a day. If I did not eat my 3 meals, I would think that I did not have enough to last me through the day, or I was not eating right. Food was available to me everywhere I went. I had money, I lived with my parents, and I lived in a town with too many places to eat. My family was the same way. If I was not eating at least 3 meals a day, they would think I was sick. In his childhood, it was almost a necessity to eat at least 3 meals a day, because the labor that was required of him was dangerous. If you did not eat enough food or have enough energy, you could almost die. The work that was done did not have any food breaks, or in the area, food was not fast or available as it is today. All of the meals were home cooked. I kind of grew up in the same way, same environment. As I grew up, I started to eat out more though, just like a lot of families started to do. In today's society, food is available everywhere you go, but it'll cost you money for the food. When I got to college, it seemed like I had a limited amount of food available to me, even though there are fast food restaurants everywhere in the area and the cafeteria. I just didn't want to spend my money. I had money, but I did not have an income. I had cafeteria meals, 8 a week, but was that enough? So my appetite changed drastically from 3 meals a day to 2 a day. It was almost as if I feared to use my meals. I feared spending money. I didn't know if I had enough money. I think it was more of, I am not that hungry to use my meal right now or spend my money. Who says that we must have 3 meals a day to have a healthy lifestyle? I think we should eat what we want and how much we want of it. We should know how much exercise we need each day as well. Not only to get in shape, but to stay physically healthy. I was required to keep track of the food that I ate from August 27th to September 6th. This is how I ate and why I think that money and food availability affects my eating habits. Today I didn't eat that much because I found out that I only had 8 meals a week for my meal plan. It was kind of a shock to me that I only had 8 meals. How would I live? So, I ate at the caf and had breakfast. Scrambled eggs mixed with hash browns and Tabasco sauce on top. Side of biscuits and gravy with 4 glasses of orange juice and 1 large green apple to finish it all off. Breakfast was my favorite type of food. When I walked into the caf, my stomach wrenched with excitement. Just the smell alone in the building made me hungry. If I were to tell you what my stomach said to me when I got into the cafeteria, it would go a little like this. Oh my gosh, bacon, 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 food, 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 eat, 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 end quote. So, you can tell me how much I love breakfast. After that, I went to my dorm to do some homework. As I was sitting there, devouring my M&Ms with Cheez-Its and 3 bottles of water, I still don't understand why I was freaking out. That I had less than 12 meals a week. If you think about it, an average American will more than likely eat more or less 21 meals a week. Now picture this. I have 8 meals a week. That changes my diet drastically from the typical 3 meals a day to maybe 2 a day. Now, I do have the option to spend my money, but I still didn't have an income at this time. I'm in college and I miss my parents, so I went home that night. I woke to the sweet smell of fried eggs and bacon that morning. My dad was in the kitchen making breakfast for us. It was an awesome meal. It was a free meal. I did not have to pay any money out of my limited savings. About 4 or 5 hours later, my dad did the typical "I'm hungry, let's get some food" end quote. We went to the grocery store and picked up about 28 buffalo wings, red velvet cake, and a 24-pack of Mountain Dew just for lunch. After we overindulged in this meal, I felt so full that I even said, quote, "I feel like a dog tick on a St. Bernard," end quote. Like my dad always used to say when I was growing up. Why did I eat all that food? I'll tell you why. Because it was free food. It didn't seem to matter to me that I overindulged, but I just didn't know if I was going to have to tough out my meal plan. It might seem that I'm over-exaggerating just a little bit, but this is how I thought. I woke up this morning with a small ache in my stomach. I told my dad and he said, "You're probably just hungry." I didn't feel hungry though. I destroyed 6 pancakes. Yes, 6 pancakes with syrup and chocolate milk. It was amazing. After eating these pancakes, I didn't feel sick or like I was a pig. I was happy. I felt great and at ease. I didn't have a worry in the world. Not because I was just full, but because I didn't have to pay for it. After saying goodbye to my dad, it was time to visit my mother. It wasn't 1 hour later that I arrived in Greenbrier. When I walked in the room, my mother and her sister had already prepared a gigantic lunch. It consisted of roast beef, corn, mashed potatoes with brown gravy, green beans, and brownies with ice cream on top. Oh yeah, this meal was off the chain. Even though I was still full from the six-stack, I still wanted to eat all of this food. I had second servings of everything. That is how good the food was. It didn't matter that it was free. It was just straight up good. But free does have its benefits. When you can take it back to the dorm and it lasts you 2 more meals. But wait. It didn't stop there. At about 7 o'clock, me and a couple of friends walked over to Subway to get a Subway sandwich. Well, the good thing about Subway is the $5 footlongs. $5 footlongs. I had a footlong club sandwich with sea salt and vinegar chips and a water to drink. This was a feast of a day. My belly was full and happy. And it stopped. My first actual day of school. I woke up and enjoyed my s'more Pop-Tart. This was my breakfast. In my opinion, it is not a healthy breakfast, but it gets me by till lunch. Lunch was the time that I ate a lot of food. As soon as I walked in, I was greeted by the sweet smell of corn and other pleasing aromas. I had pork chops, 2 servings of Mexicorn, 3 pieces of cheese pizza, broccoli, green apple, and a pineapple juice to drink. This meal was pretty filling, but I had spent my only meal for the day. I felt that I had to get my money's worth by eating all that I could. I did not eat anything else for the rest of the day. I woke up this morning starving. I felt like I couldn't move because my stomach was cramping so badly. My guess would be because I didn't have dinner the previous night. The only thing I had to eat was my s'mores Pop-Tarts. S'mores Pop-Tarts are very convenient and they're easy to prepare. They're satisfying as well. They got me by, again, till lunch. But at lunch, I was even hungrier than the previous day. I devoured my 3 pepperoni pizzas, tofu fried rice, and chocolate cake. My tofu fried rice wasn't that pleasing though, so I actually changed my diet and had a green apple, which I normally don't eat many fruits. With my meal, I had Coke and 5 lemon bars. Later that night, myself and a couple friends went to Taco Bell and got 5-layer burritos. Just like every college kid, a late night Taco Bell run becomes more and more regular to our diets. Again, I had my s'more Pop-Tarts for breakfast. To be honest, I freaking hated these Pop-Tarts by this time. Today, I didn't want to spend my meal plan on cafe food. For some reason, I thought if I kept eating once a day at the caf that I would either gain weight or not have enough meals for the end of the year. So I warmed up the leftovers from my mother's feast that she had prepared for me earlier this week. I had roast beef, mashed potatoes, corn, wheat biscuit, and a wheat biscuit for lunch. This food could have not tasted any better or be any better pleasing. This was my last meal of the day. I know that I still had a meal available for that day that I could use, but I just wanted to save my meals for when I really needed them. On the next day, I still had my s'more Pop-Tarts for breakfast. I still felt constricted by my meal plan that I didn't need to spend my meals, since I still had some leftovers in my fridge that I had not finished from yesterday. I still didn't want to use my meal for dinner because I knew that I could get by, but I still wanted to eat way more. I felt like I had to live my day on only this food because I couldn't spend my money. I mean, I could spend my money, but if I were to spend my money, then I would lose the amount of money that I had to spend. I wanted to spend my money on other things like golf, games, other things that entertain me. Who wants to spend money on food? I look at my money being spent on food as a waste. I guess it seems that way because I'm used to my mom making my meals. I felt good about this breakfast that I ate. I had a green apple and a peach with water. It wasn't much, but it was different from those crummy old Pop-Tarts. For lunch, I had a whey protein shake because previous to eating lunch, I went to work out. I got to get buff, you know. After I finished my homework, I went home to my dad's around dinner time. When I arrived into my mail, my dad already had a 3-meat pizza waiting for me at the door. It seemed as if when I entered the door that my mouth started to ooze saliva. I had 4 pieces of pizza and 4 Cokes that day. Can you say that the smell of something good will make you hungry? I can say yes to that. I didn't spend any money at all, which reflects how much I ate. I didn't spend much, but there was food available, and I ate. I ate way more than I usually would have. I woke up early this morning, before my dad. There wasn't anything ready for breakfast, which is okay. I had leftover pizza for breakfast from the previous day. This was at 9 o'clock in the morning. At roughly 11 o'clock, I had red velvet cake for lunch, which was delicious. It wasn't even 6 hours between breakfast and lunch that I had eaten 2 meals. These meals weren't even healthy. I just ate. This day only seems to get worse. Just like every typical Saturday in the fall, there was an Arkansas game on television. There are many parties around town that we like to attend. My dad and I knew a couple people that were hosting one of these parties. We went to the party with a couple of my dad's friends. At the house, we grilled cheeseburgers and made cheese dip and salsa. With these that's terrible grammar. I had red velvet cake for lunch, which was delicious. It wasn't even 6 hours between breakfast and lunch that I had eaten 2 meals. These meals weren't even healthy. I just ate. This day only seems to get worse. Just like every typical Saturday in the fall, there's an Arkansas game on television. There are many parties around town that my dad and I knew of, a couple people that were hosting one of these parties. We went to the party with a couple of my dad's friends. At this house, we grilled cheeseburgers, made cheese dip, and salsa. With this meal, I had 5 Mountain Dews. Once again, I ate more than I probably should have, and it wasn't the healthiest food ever, but it was free. It doesn't seem to matter to me if the food that I eat is even healthy. I only care about the price or how I obtain it. My dad felt very energetic this morning. The Hogs won their game, and he was in a good mood. He ran to McDonald's to get us breakfast. I had 2 servings of McDonald's, biscuits and gravy with skim milk. The gravy is always the best part of biscuits and gravy, especially McDonald's. It has a small, spicy taste to it and a little mild feeling on my taste buds. If I were to purchase this meal, I would have only eaten 1 serving. So, after I mooched off my dad this entire weekend, I headed back to Conway. As I arrived to Hughes Hall, I made Easy Mac for lunch. It was surprisingly filling. I worked on my homework all day and started to feel kind of sick, just coughing and sneezing a lot. I thought I was starting to come down with something. So I went to the almighty Walmart and purchased 2 chicken noodle soup at hand cups. For some reason, chicken noodle soup seems to always help me when I feel a little ill. My little assigned experiment has shown me 2 drastic things about my diet. First, if I don't want to spend money, I will eat less. Money seems to be more important to me than eating altogether. Second, if I see food and it is available to me without a cost, then I will want to eat it. When I'm at home, my dad has food everywhere. I will eat most of it. It is always like if I see food, my stomach will either make room for it or my mind tells me that I need it. Since college, I have tried to eat well, but so far this experiment has showed me that I have failed to do so. To sum it all up, if I don't want to spend my money on food, I won't. And if I see food that I don't want to spend money on, I will eat it. I will eat a lot of it.